Well, for more speculation surrounding the death of Boris Nemtsov, let's tread across to Marcus Papadopoulos, editor of the Politics First magazine. Now, didn't have much luck last hour, but I believe he can hear us this hour. Hi there, Marcus. Nice to see you. The investigation is still ongoing, but much of the media appears to have made up its mind as to who was behind the killing. Why is that? At such an early stage, it was within hours, it was a knee-jerk reaction, no matter how you look at it.
Well, first and foremost, I think we should express our condolences to the family of Boris Nemtsov. His murder was a despicable, barbaric act, and the Moscow police are now investigating it, and they are the people who should be investigating it, not Western journalists who, an hour after the tragic murder, were able to deduce through their crystal ball that somehow the Russian government was behind it. It's absolutely outrageous that Western journalists are behaving in such a way. But I think that it's inevitable that Western media outlets Russia, because at the moment, as a result of the standoff in Ukraine, Western journalists are depicting Russia in a very, very unflattering way. They're demonizing the Russian government. They're demonizing President Putin, because the West is seeking to build up an unofficial coalition of countries around the world to target Russia, because the West is acutely aware that Russia today is actually very strong and it will not bow down to the West as it did during the 1990s.
There was quick reaction too from world leaders, quite a bit of reaction after this murder. OK, he was a deputy PM back in the 90s, but he was a much lesser figure today. Why do you think they felt the need to weigh in so quickly as they did over his murder in this case?
Well, I think they're trying to politicise a tragic event, which is completely intolerable. And I think that, with all due respect to the memory of Boris Nemtsov, he was a very, very marginal figure in Russia. And why do I say that? Firstly, he lost his seat in the Russian Duma, the lower house of the Russian parliament, at the 2003 Russian parliamentary elections. Secondly, Boris Nemtsov was an extremely unpopular figure amongst ordinary Russians. Why? Because he served in the government of Boris Yeltsin during the 1990s, and the government of Boris Yeltsin in the 1990s reduced Russia to a pauper state as a result of the reckless policies of Boris Yeltsin and his pro-Western stance. Millions upon millions of ordinary Russians overnight, they lost their jobs, they lost their savings, they lost their pensions, many of them lost their homes, and Boris Nemtsov was part of that government. So, with all due respect to his memory, he was a very, very marginal figure in Russian politics.
All right, Marcus, we'll leave it there. Marcus Papadopoulos, editor of Politics First magazine. Thanks for that. Well, as Marcus